guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you guys an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while, and click the subscribe button. I'm on the journey of hopefully reaching 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2021, and you can help me out by clicking the subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So as you can see by the title of the video, it is another full face of Charlotte Tilbury, except the first time it was my first impressions of the brand as a whole. Today is round 2, and I kind of have an idea of what I think about the brand since I have definitely tried a good amount of more products. Why don't we go ahead and get started with this full face of Charlotte Tilbury. All right, I kind of already prepped my skin just because it's kind of boring for you guys to see me put on my primer and all that good stuff. I went in with the Wonder Glow primer. I got a sample of it in one of my orders, so I used that for my whole face. I went ahead and used the Magic Serum for my pores. I have a little sample here that I used my Sephora points with, but I do have a full-size bottle. And I also went ahead and used the Flawless filter. This is in the shade 5.5. I used it along the areas where I feel the light hits me. So as you can see, my face looks pretty nice and glowy, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to go in with the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I have it in the shade 5.5. This is definitely more on the full coverage side. So if you don't like full coverage, you might not like this foundation. I personally don't like full coverage, but I definitely feel like a foundation like this is good to have for like those special occasions, you know? I do enjoy this foundation, although because it's such heavy duty, I do feel like my oils do build up quite a bit by the end of the day. It could just be that the last time I used it, it was really hot, but that's just what I personally felt. I'm using an Ariel and Morphe A24. Let's go ahead and blend this out. Okay, and that is what the foundation is looking like. I did go pretty light-handed. I want to say I barely used one pump and made sure I spread it out pretty evenly. Please excuse my baby hairs. I try to like straighten them and they just don't stay. The foundation will run you for $44, and this little mini version of the Flawless filter will run you for $15, but I'll give you a total of how much I have on my face at the end. Okay. Next thing we're going to go in is with the color corrector that she has in her line. I believe there are 4 shades. I have shade number 2, which is kind of like a salmon-y color. Now, the reason I purchased this is because I definitely have noticed that my under eyes have become more prominent here recently. So I just use a tiny bit with my finger. I don't use too much. And you're probably wondering, like, what the hell, Mary? Your last full face of Charlotte Tilbury wasn't even that long ago. She's just had a lot of great sales, and my birthday I think was after that video, so I did ask for a couple of items from Charlotte Tilbury for my birthday, so I've had some time to add to my Charlotte Tilbury collection. As you can see, the color correcting is nice and subtle. I'm really enjoying it. That will run you for $32. And now we're going to use the Magic Away concealer. This will also run you for $32, and I have it in the shade 5 medium. Now, if you watched my first video, I absolutely hate the packaging for this concealer. It is horrible. It is unsanitary. I just don't like it. So as you can see, I'm like barely dabbing any product in. I don't like using too much of this. I don't use too much concealer anyways. Plus the shade is pretty close to my foundation shade, and I'm okay with that. So far, it's a decent concealer. It's not like my absolute favorite, but I don't dislike it like some other people dislike it. I think it's okay, but it does the job. It does what it needs to do. This is a Jaclyn & Morphe JH08. Okay, this is what the face is looking like. Now we are going to set our under eyes and our face. I don't have a full size of the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, but I do have a little mini, and this is in the shade Fair Light. I use this shade for my under eyes, and in the Look of Love face palette, this is the lighter one of the two. I do also have a face powder in this palette. The one in this one is darker than the light, as you can see. So I use this for my under eyes, and I'll use that one for the rest of my face. I'm using a Morphe and Ariel A14. I love this powder. So far, this is my favorite under eye powder. It just leaves everything so smooth. This will run you for $45. Since I don't have a regular size, but I am using the mini and the one in the Look of Love face palette, I'll go ahead and include that price onto the total. I wish you could see up close what this powder is doing and how smooth my under eyes are looking. Now I'm going with a fluffy brush. This is the A21 by Morphe and Ariel. And I'm just going to set the rest of my face with that darker powder. I normally would use translucent powder, but I don't have Charlotte Tilbury translucent powder. Okay, the next thing is bronzer. I'm just going by the order in which I normally do my makeup. I do have here the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and I also have the Airbrush bronzer. This retails for $68 and the bronzer retails for $55. I am going to use this as contour since it's a little bit more on the cool tone side. There is 2 shades available in this little palette, and this is the light shade, and they have there's only 2 available, which sucks. That's one thing for sure that Charlotte Tilbury needs to work on is her shade range. I mean, there is some things where her shade range is decent, but then there are other things where you're just kind of just like, what are you thinking? It should be the same all the way across the board, not just some items. Okay, there is the contouring shade. I do have to build it up a little bit, but the shade still works for me. There is a bronzer also in the Look of Love face palette, and this one I as well need to build up, but it still works for me pretty well. I am light to medium complexion. If you are tan, I don't think these will work for you. For the bronzer, I have it in the shade 2 medium, and as you can tell, this one's a little bit darker than the other 2, a little bit warmer as well. This one also works good for me and not too dark. I am using a Morphe and Ariel A3.2 brush. The good thing I really enjoy about this bronzer, like even though it's huge and I doubt you'll go through it within your lifetime, but see this little hole right here? You can pop the pan out and replace it once you are done with this, which is awesome. I love that. All right, let's go ahead and bronze up a tiny bit. This bronzer is gorgeous. It literally leaves an airbrush finish. I have definitely enjoyed it. It's one of my newer purchases as well, and I have used it my fair share of times. It's just a beautiful bronzer. As you can see, it's not super dark even though it looks dark in the pan, and it's very buildable. I think that's what I really enjoy about a lot of her complexion products, is that even though they look a certain way on the pan, they don't have too much pigment when you put them on your face, and they're very buildable, which I feel is pretty important. At least that's how I like my products to be. All right, this is what my complexion is looking like. It looks pretty flawless if you ask me. Okay, so for the eyes, I do have a couple of options. So the very first product I purchased for the eyes was in the Look of Love palette, and it has the 3 steps for the eyes, but I already used this in my last video, so we're not going to use that. I also purchased this, is called the Easy Eye palette in Charlotte Darling. And this one I got also on sale. That is the reason why I purchased this. I have only used this one time. Such a beautiful palette, but I've also already used it, so I'm not going to use that. And I also purchased this Exagger Eyes quad along with one of her little Eyes to Mesmerize creams. This is in the shade Rose Gold. I have also used this. I have also used the Exagger Eyes. It is also a very soft, beautiful everyday eyeshadow palette. And the last option I have is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. This one I also got in one of the recent sales that she had. I got it in a bundle. It came with an eyeliner and I believe it was $68. This normally retails $75 by itself. I haven't even used this palette. I think for today, this is the palette that we are going to go for. In case you didn't know, the way she does these palettes is she has a 1, 2, 3 shade method. So these three are supposed to go together. These three are supposed to go together. These three and these three. So you can create quite a bit of eye looks, but I'm just going to go ahead and use this how I want to use it because it is my palette and I can do what I want. All right, I brought you in closer just for the eyes, but we are definitely going to speed up through this part. I do not want this video to be extra long. First shade I am jumping into is going to be this gorgeous shade right here, and I'm using a super fluffy brush. I'm going to use this for the transition shade. Using a Sigma E38. I'm using this in the outer corner and in the crease. I'm using a Refer number 13. Going to concentrate this right in the middle and a tiny bit on the crease. Alright guys, and this is the finished eye look. I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. It performed absolutely amazing. All of the mattes blended like butter. The shimmers that I used worked absolutely beautiful. I am very, very, very happy with this eye look. I think it looks gorgeous. Now, I do not own a Charlotte Tilbury mascara, so I went ahead and used something else. I did use one of her eyeliners. This is the one that I got with the eyeshadow palette in the little bundle. This alone is worth $27. And for my eyebrows, the only brow product I own is this Brow Cheat Brow Pencil, which is the thinner of the two that she has in her line. This is $25, and the amazing part is that it's a refillable eye pencil. So once I run out, all I need to do is buy the refill, which is only $15, which that to me is absolutely awesome. So now let's go ahead and go into some blush. I only have two choices for blushes today, and in the Look of Love palette, it has this gorgeous blush right here, or I could go in with this blush that I recently purchased. It's called the Cheek to Chic blush, and this is in the shade Ecstasy. It's a peachy shade, of course. Gorgeous. I think I'm going to go with this one just because I've only used this one once. So her trick for her blushes, she says to swirl and then dip in the middle. That's what I do. It's a gorgeous shade. I've only used it once, like I said, but it's beautiful. So her blushes definitely have that sheen. So if you don't like sheen on your cheeks, you might not like this. I have grown to love this. I think the older I'm getting, the more I am loving it. Now, I don't like glitter in there, but I feel like she did it just perfect because her blushes, the one from Look of Love face palette, I also absolutely love. I don't know, it's magic that she puts in there. But look at that, isn't it beautiful? Okay, the next thing I go into is highlighter. And I only have two options in the Look of Love palette. There is also a highlighter. That's what it looks like. So her highlighters are definitely not blinding. They are definitely that formula that just melts into your skin, which I seem to appreciate more these days. And also in the Film Star Bronze and Glow palette. This one also has highlighters. So as you can see, they look similar, but not exactly. For today, I'm going to use the one in the Film Star Bronze and Glow because it's newer, and I don't know if you could tell, but in the Look of Love palette, I have definitely given this palette some love. It has been used quite a bit by me, myself, and I. So let's go into this palette. I'm going in with my Sigma F35. Oh, and the blush is $40, and I used my Morphe and Ariel blush brush. This is the A22. I have been loving this brush for blush. It just is so fluffy and just beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go into the highlighter. And like I said, these highlighters are more a glow within type of highlighters. So they're not going to be super blinding, but they are going to look absolutely beautiful. They don't accentuate any of my texture on my skin. I do have some at the moment, not too much, but do you see that? Beautiful. I definitely do enjoy the two highlighter formulas that she has that I own. All right, guys, last but not least is lips. I did purchase a mini lip kit with my first video for the Pillow Talk lip liner and mini lipstick, but I do now have a full size of a lipstick and also a full size of a lip liner. Part of the bundle, of course, so I did take advantage and purchase both of these. This is the Lip Cheat lip liner in Iconic Nude, and this is her matte formula. I forget what it's called, but this is in the shade Wedding Bells. I have not even touched this. It is absolutely brand new, and this lipstick will run you for $34. I do know that it comes in like a special edition packaging or like a holiday packaging, and it will cost you $37, but I have the normal one. And as far as the lip liner, that will cost you $22. Let's go ahead and put these on. I am really enjoying this lip liner. I do feel like it is the perfect nude, at least for my skin tone. All right, guys, so here it is. Here is an almost full face of Charlotte Tilbury. The only items that I have on my face that are not Charlotte Tilbury is the mascara, lashes, and the setting spray. I don't own in her brand. I don't think she has lashes. But yeah, here it is, and I do feel like my face is looking pretty flawless. There is not a product that I have tried from Charlotte Tilbury that I have disliked. There are products that I think are definitely worth your money, and there are some products where I'm just like, oh, you can kind of skip out on that. You don't really need it. But I have definitely enjoyed slowly adding to my collection since the video I did, I want to say about 6 months ago, where I first tried out Charlotte Tilbury. And as you can see, I have definitely fallen in love with the brand. I think it is slowly becoming my #1 luxury brand, and it's just, I just love how everything looks on my skin. I am 34 years old. I am definitely noticing, you know, certain wrinkles in certain areas, and I feel like her brand definitely caters a little bit more towards mature skin. Her makeup brand reminds me of like a classic beauty. It's so timeless, almost like wedding makeup. It enhances your natural beauty. It doesn't really alter too much, and it just makes you look like a glowier version of yourself. Don't get me wrong, Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona, which are also two other luxury brands that I have been dipping my toes in a little bit more, also Dior and hopefully Chanel. But Charlotte Tilbury, I just feel like it's, like I said, like that timeless beauty. Everything in her line, it must have magic in it. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it just meshes very well with my skin and what my preferences are as I'm getting a tiny bit older. Okay, well, are you guys ready to see the total for everything that is on my face right now? It is $543. Yeah, that is quite a bit of money. Like I said, I've been adding to my collection slowly, and a good amount of this was purchased through sales. Her brand is definitely an expensive brand. It is a luxury brand and her products are pretty pricey, but I do feel that some are so worth having in your collection. Okay guys, well thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video of me doing a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, at least a second video of it. I just really wanted to showcase some of the new products that I have purchased from her brand and really enjoyed. The holidays are coming, so more than likely I'm guessing that there will be more sales. So hopefully this video helps you in putting some of these items in a wish list for when there is another sale that happens. Well, I would love it if you gave this video a big old thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm and hopefully bring in some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. I am on the journey of hopefully reaching 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2021, and I would love it if you can help me out by clicking the subscribe button. Okay guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.